Not all creatures are familiar to the denizens of Krynnspace. Let's take a look at a few. Welcome to another DragonLance Saga episode. My name is Adam, and today we're going to talk about Krynnspace creatures. I'd like to take a moment and thank the members of this channel, and invite you to consider becoming a member by visiting the link in the description below. You can even pick up DragonLance gaming materials using my affiliate link. I am referencing the SJR7 Krynnspace Spelljammer accessory for this information. If I misspeak or leave anything out, please leave a comment below. Most of the creatures we speak about dwell on the varied planetary bodies of Krynnspace, but the first two are spacefaring societies. The Lakshu are exclusively female harridans. They're very similar in appearance to each other, standing 5.5 to 6 feet tall and sporting green hair. They are a warrior society, though they rarely attack anyone unless ordered by their masters, the Reigar. Long ago, the two societies connected, and though they have both had small presences in Krynnspace for decades, they do not plan on staying. Reigar are the other spacefaring species. Though smaller in number, they have great influence over the Lakshu. They tend to appear androgynous and enjoy decorating themselves with tattoos, makeup, and all have a strong sense of personal aesthetics. They stand on average of 6 or 7 feet in height and feature a glory that surrounds them. This is a cloud of glowing, colorful emotes. Generally, the race is individualistic and prefers solitary explorations of art and magic. If compelled to battle, they are fierce and prefer to watch their enemies suffer. Returning to the large bodies of Krynnspace, at its center is the sun, which is, in fact, inhabited primarily by Efreet and Hellions. They're actual cities on the surface of the sun where the Hellions dwell. Efreet are often mistaken as devils, for their skin is generally red and fiery. They stand around 12 feet tall and can weigh 2,000 pounds. They are beings from the elemental plane of fire. They war with the Hellions as they have been stripped of their wish-granting abilities and seek a way to return to their plane. They live a nomadic life, warring with the Hellions. Hellions are composed of quasi-metallic skeletons surrounded by liquid flame. They dwell here as most were driven from the elemental plane of fire from other Efreet. They're highly intelligent, preferring to live in small, connected societies who call upon each other for support when under attack. They do not enjoy fighting, but will be aggressive as necessary for survival. Traveling to the planet of Sirion, we will find Azer and Plasmen. The Azer dwell on islands formed by molten oceans. Azer look like dwarves, only with flame for hair and deep bronze skin. They're open to visitors in the northern hemisphere, as they maintain a port of call for spelljammers. They're interested in acquiring magic, gems, and curiosities, along with the Efreet who dwell nearby. The Azer actually craft compounds that protect others visiting the planet. The Plasmen of Sirion live in the boiling seas and mountainous southern pole. They're constructs created by deranged wizards and creatures from the elemental planes of fire and earth. They have bodies of white-hot coals which float on molten-like material. They are quick to attack. They're even able to take to the skies to assault visitors. They tend to avoid the other residents of Sirion, however. Reorx is populated sparsely with gnomes, dwarves, humans, and Mindflayers. Though the surface societies are generally favorable to visitors, there is a dark underbelly to this planet. The Mindflayers dwell deep beneath the surface and even beneath the dwarven mines. They operate a large slave ring which even breeds primarily human slaves to sell off planet. Their skin is soft and rubbery, featuring colors from green to violet. They are psionic masters who dominate their victims' minds. They have a squid-like face with tentacles extending from their heads. Oh yeah, they also eat brains. We are all familiar with the denizens of Krynn, and if you aren't, I would encourage you to watch my many races and creatures of Krynn videos. Chislev is very sparsely inhabited with nomadic, primitive demi-human races. The vast majority of life is the global jungle that sprawls over its mountains. It was visited by Xiao Lung from Toril, and there's a small camp maintained on the surface. Zivlin and its 12 moons primarily contain denizens of the survivors of crashes. Not much is known of Nesmith, which is a harsh, dismal world covered in fetid swamps. The Neogi and their pet Umberhulks dwell beneath the surface. The Neogi are a spider-like race known for their pillaging and enslavement of other races. Adult Neogi are no larger than a typical human child, whose head rests atop an eel-like neck. They dye and tattoo their bodies for rank and family. Though they are ruthless and cunning, they are not individually very powerful. They rely on their slaves to fight for them. Umberhulks and their watery cousins the Vodyanoi also dwell on the planet. They have webbed hands and feet with slimy green skin. Their mandibles are incredibly powerful, being able to bite through clamshells. They're very tall, growing to 10 feet in height. Vodyanoi are territorial and vicious, attacking with their claws and mandibles, even commanding electric eels in some cases. They're reasonably intelligent, but celebrate physical strength over intellect. The Stellar Islands is perhaps the most odd amalgamation of sentient beings who live in relative harmony. They feature tropical weather and celebrate week-long festivals between the Giff, dragons, gnome, Grommam, and giant species. The Giff are a mercenary race who appear to be hippopotamus humanoids. They're not as tall as ogres, standing about 8 feet, but are much more massive. Their skin ranges from gray to gold, which they enjoy tattooing. They're as strong as hill giants and prefer to wear uniforms. They celebrate their military accomplishments and have a strong sense of honor. Grommam are gorilla-like sentient apes. They have short copper-red fur covering their deep brown skin. On average, they stand under 5 feet, but weigh up to 500 muscular pounds. They drape themselves in loose, brightly colored clothing and communicate much in the way our modern gorillas do with vocal grunts and calls. They live in tree and ground familial societies. Bosk Giants are territorial and aggressive. They're considered stupid compared to their cousins, but have a natural cunning that traditionally takes the form of terrible ruthlessness. They dwell in bogs and marshes, and rather than toss boulders, they prefer to charge into melee. They can swallow great amounts of swamp water, which they spit in massive streams at their foes. This bile-infused fetid water can not only damage, but paralyze. Swamp giants are thought to be evolved Bosk Giants. They dwell in similar areas, featuring green skin and hair, which they take care of, braiding and shaving as they individually prefer. They have thick hides, which they enjoy covering in the skin of young green dragons. They only fight when they're forced to, and then prefer to start with spells to entrap their aggressor and finish them off with spears from a distance. This is by no means the totality of all the creatures one may find in Krynnspace. They are the most common to the planetary bodies. But that is all the time I have to talk about Krynnspace creatures. Do you have a favorite creature? Would you ever include them in your DragonLance campaign? And if you play Spelljammer, do you have a favorite planet in Krynnspace to visit? Leave a comment below. I'd like to take a moment and remind you to subscribe to this YouTube channel, ring the bell to get notified about upcoming videos, and click the like button. This all goes to help other DragonLance fans learn about this channel and its content. And this channel is all about celebrating the wonderful world of the DragonLance Saga. Hope you'll join me in the celebration. Thank you for watching. This has been Adam with DragonLance Saga, and until next time, remember... Worlds? Why yes, there are worlds upon worlds upon worlds, and to study them is to be very worldly, you know?